Hey everyone, it is your boy Blazy here, and I hope you've all had a fantastic week so far. The Easter weekend is around the corner, you'll be getting a lot of chocolate, and hopefully you'll be having time to sit down and watch this episode of Blazy Collects, because today we are bringing you the second instalment of our World Cup hype series. So if you saw episode 1 last week, we took a look at the 2014 Prizm set for the World Cup, and this week we are taking a look at the 2018 Russian World Cup base set. And what I've managed to do is get hold of an entire base set on eBay for just 90 quid. And it includes the rookie Kylian Mbappe national team card, which is really exciting. And the set itself is stunning. It's really well designed. It's hard to get hold of now. A fat pack now will cost you 75 quid alone. So this set is getting harder and harder to collect. And I am buzzing to have a whole base set to show you today. So what we're going to do is we're going to crack this box open, take out all the cards, and have a look at what was included in the 2018 World Cup Prizm base set. So without further ado, sit back, guys, and enjoy today's video. So here it is, everyone. We have got all 300 Panini Prizm World Cup 2018 base cards inside this little box from eBay. And I tell you what, everyone, I am so excited to get my hands in this box and show you what the base cards look like and what base cards were included inside the 2018 Prizm set. I had a lot of fun doing it last week with the 2014 cards, and I'm just as excited to do it this week. We will skip the little introduction this week where I go through all the inserts because I haven't got any inserts in this box today. It literally is just the base cards. But later on in the series, when I start to pick these inserts up, we'll spend a little more time taking a look at those inserts and seeing what was included additionally on top of that base set, because there were some crazy inserts, crazy autographs, and a few nice refractor cards in there as well. So that's all to come. But today, we are going to be whipping this box open. And if you're a Blazy Collects regular, you'll know what time of the video it is. And it's where I let you know that if you enjoy today's video, then make sure you smash that like button to let me know, because, hey, that points me in the right direction for the videos to make you guys in the future. And secondly, do make sure you subscribe as well. Once this Easter weekend is gone, we have box galore arriving on this channel. We are going to have plenty of products getting opened, new products, old products, lots of exciting things to come. So do make sure you subscribe so that you don't be missing those. But for now, we're going to crack this box open and we are going to take a look at the 2018 Prizm base set. And actually, before I do, I can show you two cards that I did pick up the other day. One less desirable than the other, but I did actually manage to get hold of 2 autographs from this collection. So this is what the autograph cards look like in the 2018 Prizm World Cup set. And you can see I've got Keita Balde-Diao on the left, and we've got suspected naughty man, Gilfy Six, I'm trying to use derogatory words. We've got a naughty boy on the right, we've got Gilfy on the right. Just take a Google if you're interested. But controversial card for the collection, but a card nonetheless. And it's definitely not going to be one that I'm displaying. I wanted to try and complete these World Cup sets, so what has to be done has to be done. He was only £3, and to be fair, I think that's a fair transfer value at the moment. So these are the signature cards, which are quite nice. So I've got 2 of those at the moment. And inside, we've got the normal base variations in this box. So we are going to get it open, guys, and we're going to start taking a look. There are some really, really nice inserts in this set. The national landmarks are incredible. A really nice insert with a national team player on one of their national landmarks. They look great. They're really hard to get hold of, and I'm hoping in a few episodes' time I would have got hold of a couple and I can show you what they look like, because they are really cool. You've got the scorers clubs in there. You've got the group stage inserts. There are so many inserts in the Prizm set. It's unbelievable. And it would literally, if you saw my last video, it was 50 minutes long. It will take me so long to go through all that with you. So we're going to save that for another time. And we are going to start taking a look at these base cards, including that rookie Kylian Mbappe. So I'm going to move that out of the way. Don't want to be giving you my personal details anytime soon. And you can see the seller actually on this occasion has packed this very, very well. So we're just going to move some of that bubble wrap out the way, and straight away I can see the rookie Kylian Mbappe. We've got him there. We will take a look at that in a second, but for now, oh my god, you know what? I think he's grouped these as well. Look at that. He's done a great job packing these. Kudos, Mr. Seller. I don't know if you have got a storefront. If you do have a storefront, I will check it out after this video and make sure I tag you below, because look at that. He's done a great job at packing these, and also with Prizms, they tend to get bent over time. Have you ever seen that Boris Johnson meme where he's talking about someone getting bent? Oh, funny. But anyway, Prisms bend really, really easily, and I think it's part of the laminating process. But actually, one, this guy's looked after them really well, and two, he's packed them immaculately. So no complaints from me. Fantastic eBayer. He'll definitely be getting a positive from me. And you can see, we've got stacks on stacks on stacks of... Oh, and look, it's the GOAT Lionel Messi on the front of that one as well. Lionel Messi. Honestly, I've got the Lionel Messi 2014 Prizm is banging. I've actually got him over here. So actually, before we even start, we can start to take a look and see what the difference looks like between the 2014 Prizm and the 2018 Prizm, because we've got our we've got the World Cup 2018 Lionel Messi on the left and the World Cup 2014 Lionel Messi on the right. You can see his age. You can see he's got a nice little beard. He's got a slick skin fade going on as well. So he had a glow up between these two World Cups, didn't he? But you can see the designs are very different. They've still got that kind of like silvery etching to it. But the Prizm design is a little bit smaller. You've got a nice big thick board around it now. And it's a nice design. If I had to pick from the two, I would go for the 2014 set. However, it's still a very, very nicely designed set, that one on the right. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off by looking at what is possibly the best base card out there in this set. It's considered, I guess, it's not a grail as such, but the one card you must have in your collection from this base set, and that is the 2018 Russia World Cup Kylian Mbappe base card. And I've seen a graded ones of these go for well over £100. And as time goes on, this is going to be a very, very nice card to have in your collection, folks. So if you're thinking about picking him up, definitely do pick him up, because if you look at Lionel Messi, Ronaldo now, they're going for about 20 to 30 quid ungraded on eBay from the 2014 set. So over time, if Kylian Mbappe carries on like he is, keeps improving, keeps breaking records, then actually this is going to be a very, very handy card to have in your set, because he will get harder and harder to come by. But it's a nice design. The prisms reflects very nicely. You can see you've got a little fact on the back. The teenage sensation is ready to take on the world, having earned his opportunity to face the best on earth by helping France make reservations for Russia 2018. Touted as one of the game's next superstars, Mbappe arrived at the FIFA World Cup as a 19-year-old with mesmerising moves and massive aspirations. And wow, didn't he see through those aspirations, because France came out winners. Anyone remember that summer as well? This is another amazing thing about this base set. Summer 2018 in England was on a different level of vibe, wasn't it? We were vibing hard. Football was coming home. Every single hour at work, someone was talking about football coming home. It was a peak. You almost forget that was so long ago because of the pandemic now. But 4 years ago, wow, the Russia World Cup, it just hit different, didn't it? And Mbappe burst onto the scene when France won it that year. So another reason, with France being the winners for that year, to add this to your collection, because over time, this is going to be a very special card to keep hold of. So we've got our rookie national team, Kylian Mbappe, right there, which is very, very nice. And we'll keep him, we'll centre him there in the middle. And now what I've got to do, folks, is work out where on earth we start with these, because actually it's very, very difficult to know where number one is, where this collection starts. That one goes down to 85. You can see on the back, I'm trying to almost piece them together a little bit like a Jenga parcel, which is a little bit difficult. So we've got 168 there. We've got 200 there. So 200 must be, well, that's 230. I hope he's done these in order. I was raving about him being a right G, and actually maybe I jumped the gun a little bit. Okay, so they go there. They go there. Oh, these are low numbered. I think we're going to be starting with these ones. That's 168, 200, 111, 85, 58. This one starts at 29. It's this one to start with. We're starting with Messi. We're starting with the GOAT. Look at that. Oh, I should have known we were starting with the GOAT. Why did I ever doubt it? And what we're going to do, guys, is now we're going to open up each one of these pouches and take a look at all the cards that were included as part of that 2018 Prizm set. And what's quite cool is because he's packed them like this, it's almost like doing a mini pack opening, which is really cool. And I can't really, do you know what? Time flies by, doesn't it? And you remember bits of World Cups, but you don't remember absolutely everything. So hopefully there's going to be a few players in here that surprise us. I know Robin was a massive surprise in the 2014 set. Because God, Robin was a vibe, wasn't he, back in the day? So we'll get these out and let's take a look at the base cards for the 2018 Prizm set. So starting with this one, we have got the GOAT, Lionel Messi, and look at that. Oh, card number one in this set, I believe. Card number one it is. Look at that. Lionel Messi. Oh, man. God. I think 2016 Messi or 2018 Messi was a peak, wasn't he? I think from 2016 to 2018, he was absolutely unplayable for Barca. And the one thing he's always struggled with is having a national side that's just not been up to the level to win a World Cup, because you stick him in a side of better players and they win the World Cup every single year because he just adds that different element of magic. And sometimes the stars just have to align for you, don't they? But Lionel Messi, the GOAT, is our first card in today's set. And I will probably keep him to one side because I'm going to sleeve him until my massive binder comes. The problem with the Prizm set is that with inserts, it's over 500 big. So trying to find a binder that can fit all these cards in is an absolute nightmare. So we then got Sergio Romero, Gonzalo, Higuain. He killed it in Europe, didn't he? And then he went and bossed it in the MLS. And you do forget from times that he's knocked about as long as he is, because he must be mid-30s now. And he's still doing bits over in America. So we've got Gonzalo, Higuain, Javier Mascherano, one of the dreaded duo that arrived at West Ham. I was still at school when that whole West Ham chaos kicked off, when it turned out they'd been naughty with signing Mascherano and Tevez. It was on those deals, wasn't it, where they didn't have the player rights, but they had the players. So Javier Mascherano, though, cracking CDM back in the day. Cracking CDM that. We got Biglia. Biglia was good midfielder. Mauro Icardi. God, Mauro Icardi. Look how young he looks there. Going into that World Cup, he looks cracking, but personal problems outside of football have never done that lad any favours. We got Nicolas Osamendi. Very inconsistent again when you talk about this Argentina team. They just could never bring it together at the same time, could they? We got Angel Di Maria, again, still knocking about at PSG now. Had a real rough spell at Man United. And just has never really properly found his form since then. Ava Banega, FIFA OG this. What a holding midfielder and what a shot on him as well. Had him in my FIFA Ultimate Team for years. When you used to start a team of goal players at the beginning, you had no informs than that. Paulo Dybala as well. This must be one of the first Paulo Dybala Argentina cards out there as well. And I remember signing him on FIFA 15 and thinking, wow, this kid is going to be big. And again, he can just never stay clear of injuries for long enough. He can never keep the form going for long enough because on his day, unplayable. They said he was the next Messi back when this set was out, but it's never quite clicked for him. But he is linked with Newcastle, so fingers crossed we watch this space because I'd very happily have him. Sergio Aguero as well. Heartbreaking that we won't get a 2022 Prizm Aguero. But again, Aguero and Messi up front. How on earth they didn't win the World Cup? I don't think we'll never know. Again, it's like I said at the beginning, the inconsistency. But Aguero as well. Aguero and Messi up front. We've got Enzo Perez. Can't say no too much about Eden Perez. And then we've got Eden Hazard as well. Hazard was still doing bits when this World Cup kicked off. He reminds you there when you look at him, doesn't him? That looks like peak Chelsea Hazard, where he was unplayable week after week. Cheapy chappy, when he, or cheeky chappy even. We missed those Hazard days. It's sad to see what's become of Eden Hazard. And also, as we go through this Belgian team, we'll remember how ridiculous this Belgian team was. Just like how ridiculous like the Dutch team was and the Spanish team was at the 2014 World Cup. This Belgian team did bits and had potential to do bits. Dries Mertens, again, has never really got the plaudits over here I think he deserves, because a lot of people don't watch Serie A football, but for Napoli he's unbelievable. Was always in my FIFA Ultimate Team as well. So we had Dries Mertens, Alex Witsel with an ill-fated move east. Had he come to the Prem or, a Big Five league earlier, we'd know a lot more about Witsel. Looks a bit like Fellaini, didn't he? But a cracking holding midfielder. Jan Vertonghen, obviously massive at Spurs when this kicked off. Kevin De Bruyne as well again. All these cards start to get you in the feels, don't they? Because you remember how good these players were just a few years ago, and now they're reaching the twilight of their careers. Kevin De Bruyne, another Chelsea failure in the fact that another one that got away. But wow, what a player De Bruyne was around that time period. Thomas Vermaelen, again, another cracking centre-back for Belgium. Moussa Dembele, very inconsistent but unplayable on his day. Romelu Lukaku. This must have been around his first Man United spell as well, mustn't it? Or his Man United spell hasn't got a first. I assumed he went back to Man United. But no, again, Lukaku wasn't peak for this World Cup. He was peak for the Euros just gone. But again, another cracking player for Belgium. They had an unbelievable team. Courtois as well. Back then, before he went to Madrid, arguably in the top 3 keepers in the world. Meunier, good squad player. All of these Belgian cards, right, are cracking Belgian cards. Kevin Mirallas as well. Kevin Mirallas. This Belgian team was absolutely unbelievable. Chadley, I'm a little bit iffy about. But wow, that Belgian team was good. How on earth that Belgian team had not won something as criminal? Because this is going to be the last chance at the Qatar World Cup for them to do some bits. So fingers crossed it finally... Well, no, fingers crossed it finally happens. Then it's coming home. But I was going to say, if England don't win the World Cup, wouldn't it be nice if Belgium and that golden generation get what they deserve? So, hey, I'm calling it here. It's still coming home. Don't worry, I'm still on side. But yeah, wouldn't it be nice to see Belgium do well? We've then got Neymar. And again, babyface Neymar. I've got Neymar's FIFA 14 card over here. And look at that. That Neymar. It seems so long ago now, doesn't it? I remember like Neymar was bursting onto the scene as I finished sixth form in 2010. Wow. He was insane, wasn't he? And again, Neymar going into this World Cup, we had such high hopes about him as well. And you can see he's aged a little bit from 2014 to 2018. But again, Brazil have never, ever done themselves justice over the last few years, the quality of player that they've had. Looking at it, I am a little bit biased because I'm a big Bruno Guimaraes fan as a Newcastle boy, but I can't see Brazil doing too well at this World Cup. I'm not convinced there's enough depth in that squad yet. Paqueta, fantastic. Martinelli looks brilliant. Bruno Guimaraes. I think a very young Brazil team, maybe next World Cup, but not this one. But hey, look at that Neymar card, and he looks cracking on that yellow background. So we're going to go and put him down with Lionel Messi, and we'll get him sleeved at the end of this video as well. We've then got Willian, who is still doing bits either for Arsenal or Chelsea at this point. Thiago Silva, the man of many World Cups. Would you believe he's 37 this year? Philippe Coutinho finally getting himself into some form, and there is an autograph version available of him that I am watching on eBay. So that might be ending up in the PC very shortly. Paulinho was Spurs back then, wasn't he? And again, a great playmaker on his day. And that's our first little mini bag done. And if I am correct, this should be mini bag number 2. And we should be starting with more Brazil players. And we've got Marquinhos. Marquinhos. I cannot believe Marquinhos was around at the last World Cup as well. It feels like Marquinhos has only really properly burst onto the scene the last 2 seasons. He's gone on to be a fantastic defender for PSG, hasn't he? Rapid, tall, strong. Arguably the best Brazilian player going into this World Cup. And again, maybe the next World Cup. He should last another World Cup. He should be at the next one in 2026. And actually, at that point, I think Brazil could be quite dangerous. We then got Marcelo. The Marcelo Maicon days. Guy, I remember those. Marcelo at left back, Maicon at right back. They moved on from Cafu and Roberto Carlos very well, Brazil. Never been short of options in that department. A very young Gabriel Jesus up front for them at the World Cup. Douglas Costa again, would have loved to have seen a little bit more of him as one of that blue Brazil kit or that yellow background. That is absolutely pucker. We've then got Miranda, who has disappeared a little bit off the scene the last few years. Dani Alves, someone who came out of retirement. And if he does, we will have a 2014, 2018 and 2022 World Cup Prizm if he does make it into that World Cup side. And look at that. That ball was nice that year. Casemiro, very reliable, cracking CDM at Madrid. And Alisson. Brazil are very lucky, aren't they? Alisson and Ederson, the 2 best Premier League goalkeepers at the time. Mendy's now in that club, but wow, Brazil not short of goalkeeping options, are they? And we're then moving on to Colombia, and a card that is very sad because this kid burst onto the scene at the 2014 World Cup, and he looked like the next big thing. And it's just his attitude and approach to things is just poor. And it's always sad to see with James Rodriguez, because we all thought, well, I thought at the time, this is the start of something big when you saw him play for Colombia. But sadly, never quite worked for him. Got Carlos Bacca, absolute beast of a striker. Davison Sanchez of Spurs. Started to fall out of favour. My dad had him in his FPL team for a few weeks, and actually, he hasn't played. So I do think his days are numbered under Conte. We've got David Ospina. Cordrado, who again has made an unbelievable number of World Cups. Because again, we have a 2014 Cordrado card. Falcao. God, Falcao again. Done a number of World Cups. Was there in 2010, still there in 2018. God, he looks young there, doesn't he? He's got his slick line. He's got a good barber, isn't he? We got Santiago Arias, Teofo Gutierrez, and now we're on to Costa Rica. And actually, the good thing about this set is that the smaller size did have a few more cards. If you remember my 2014 video, Algeria had like 3 cards, whereas I think teams like Costa Rica do have a fair few cards. So each team's got equal representation, which is something that's quite nice about the 2018 set. And we got Keylor Navas, the PSG goalkeeper. Brian Ruiz, who did bits for Fulham for a little while. Borges, Bolanos. And again, I don't know too much about some of these Costa Rican players. So any Costa Rican people watching, I can't see on my demographic when I do my stats, but I do apologise. We got Oviedo, Gamboa, and Joel Campbell. And I think that might see out our Costa Rica cards. Am I right? No. We've got Reina. And now, this is a nice little card. And maybe I'll be sleeving this boy as well, because we have got Mohamed Salah of Egypt. And isn't it sad that we're not going to see Mohamed Salah at the World Cup? In 2018, Mohamed Salah was good. And I think he'd just done bits for Roma and was getting signed by Liverpool. But now, unplayable, unbelievable, top FPL scorer this season. It's going to be really sad not to see Mohamed Salah at the World Cup. And he does look really different there, doesn't he? His beard's not as dense. And clearly that was what was holding back his footballing abilities. But wow, we've got Mohamed Salah there. A very, very nice card. Probably one of the only Mohamed Salah World Cup cards you're ever going to get. So he's going to be quite a special one to have in the PC as well. So we'll sit him to the side there with the other beasts. We've then got Abdallah El Said, Hegazi, Abdel Alzamon and Fathi. We've then got Hadari of Egypt. So moving on, we finished for Egypt on number 58, which needs another low pile. Look at that. God, the amount of effort this is taking to go through. We can already see we've got an Ousmane Dembele in there. So we're going to have some nice French cards in here. And it's nice to have the French set, considering they won the World Cup. So we've then got El Neni of Arsenal, another well-known Egyptian player. Sobi, Tarek Hamed, and Harry Kane. There is a hurricane in our pack opening. And look at that. We've got Harry Kane. The year we thought it was coming home. Let's take a minute as we go through this to remember the good times that these players brought us, Harry Kane included. I was a massive critic of Harry Kane this year, but actually he's starting to find his feet in almost like an attacking midfielder position for Spurs. He's been better as a number 10 than he has been actually as a centre-forward this year. So interested to see what Gareth Southgate does with him at the World Cup, but I think in a different position, there's a lot of potential for him. But let's not forget when he didn't square it to Sterling, because that was the moment it was all lost. We've got Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain of Liverpool there. Gary Cahill. Sadly, won't see him at this World Cup. Jamie Vardy's having a party, buzzing that he finally got himself on the big stage in that tournament. Dele Alli, what went wrong? What went wrong? Wasn't he fantastic that World Cup? He was unplayable to where we're at now, which is just really sad to see. And as an MK boy, he really hope he either finds his form or finds something that makes him happier than football. We've got Eric Dyer, a great centre-back now for Spurs since they moved him into that position. Daniel Sturridge. Joe Hart was our goalkeeper back then. I think Pickford must have been playing. Surely Pickford was playing. I'm trying to remember now. Surely it wasn't Joe Hart in goal. Maybe this is just because at the time this cut set was made, like he was the number one choice. But I'm sure it was Jordan Pickford in goal for us. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Jordan Henderson, Kyle Walker again. England blessed in the wing-back positions this World Cup. If you think about it going into 2022, we've got Kyle Walker, Trent Alexander-Arnold and Kieran Trippier all at that right-back position. And Daniel James, or Reece James even. How do you even pick from those four? England very, very blessed at the wing-back position. Marcus Rashford, his breakout tournament, his first one on the big stage. Raheem Sterling, this one probably going to be the last one on the big stage. So again, it'd be great to see someone like Raheem finally get the plaudits he deserves at a World Cup. And that is our England set. It's coming home, boys and girls. It's coming home. Qatar 2022 is happening. Calling it right here. If it happens, we call it here, everyone. We've then got Mr. Inconsistent himself, Paul Pogba, who I've heard is off to PSG when his contract expires with United this summer. Griezmann with the OG long locks. You can see where I got my inspiration from. We've got Alexander Lacazette, probably at his last World Cup if he does make the team this year. Blaise Matuidi, cracking centre defensive midfielder. A lot of people forget he went over to America and was insane over there as well at the end of his career. So cracking holding midfielder he was. Hugo Lloris coming into his final World Cup has been the France goalkeeper what feels like an eternity. I remember signing him as a youth player on like FIFA 05. And he's still around now. Was unbelievable against Villa at the weekend. We got Kingsley Coleman at Bayern Munich again. This would have been one of his first major tournaments. So a very nice card to have alongside Mbappe. Koscielny, that is a throwback. Kante, the nicest guy on the planet. N'Golo Kante as well. Not underrated. I think we all know how good he is, but you sometimes don't appreciate how good Kante is and the impact he has on the pitch. Massive part of France winning the World Cup, that actually. I know they got all the goals and whatnot. They smashed Croatia in the final, but underrated what that guy was doing, turning around the play. We got Olivier Giroud with a beast of a beard and Raphael Varane. Raphael Varane and Ousmane Dembele, also of France. That French team was absolutely insane. You look at that and you go, wow, they are good. But equally, you could very much say that the Belgian side was better than that. And I would say the Belgian side was better than that. Let me know in the comments below if you are watching this far, whether you think the French 2018 side or the Belgian 2018 side was better, and your thoughts around that. Interested to know, because I think Belgium had a better team. We then got Umtiti, who was obviously refusing to leave Barcelona this summer, refusing to take a pay cut. Probably not the best moral compass in the world, that lad. And now we're on to Germany, a team that, again, just seemed to have lost their way a little bit. And wasn't it a vibe when England beat them at the Euros? Wasn't it a vibe? Oh, that was so good. Again, one of the best moments in recent years, that. I really hope, I know the World Cup's in the winter, but I really hope it's a vibe like it is in the summer, because World Cup summers, Euro summers, you just can't beat them. We've got Manuel Neuer, who will sadly be at his last World Cup this year. Jerome Boateng, again, likely to be his last World Cup. Jonas Hector, who does seem to have dropped off the radar a little bit. Kimmich, who has become an absolutely unbelievable CDM and someone who can play the ball forwards as well. In the top three central midfielders for me in the world at the moment, that. Love Joshua Kimmich. Julian Draxler, spent a lot of time on the bench at PSG recently. Goretzka, cracking player. Leroy Sané. This Germany side is actually really, really good. You could argue with a lot of these players that actually Germany should have been in the top four at this tournament, arguably in the final, because this team is ridiculous. We've got ter Stegen there as a backup goalkeeper. Very lucky Germany in that department. Mats Hummels, again, likely coming to his last World Cup, but an insane centre-back. Mesut Ozil, the streets will never forget Mesut Ozil when he was playing for Bremen and Madrid. Different level. Went to Arsenal and did bits too, but that time where he was at Madrid after the... must have been after the 2010 World Cup. He was unbelievable. Missed that Ozil so much. Thomas Müller, we'll never forget when he missed that sitter against England, will we, lol. But again, last World Cup, very sad. Brilliant servant for the German national side, and what a history he's going to have. We then got Timo Verna. God, Timo Verna, the most up and down man in football, was definitely up in the 2018 World Cup when he was still playing in Germany. But, he's starting to find his feet recently at Chelsea, so hopefully that continues. Tony Kroos looking young there. Tony Kroos looking very young. I got his Heritage Match Cats card the other day, and he looks very different now to how he looked just 4 years ago. Oh, right. We've then got, and I can show you these side by side here, a signature Sigurdsson and an unsigned Sigurdsson right there. He's been accused of some very naughty things, so we're not going to talk about him at the moment. We've got Finn Bogason, who again seems to be a beast on FIFA. Not particularly quick. We've got a beast of a shot on him. We've got Trauston. We've got Gunnarsson. We'll never forget when Iceland, not in England at the Euros, were we, when Roy Hodgson was still in charge. That was not a vibe. We got Bjarnason, Gudmundsson, Bodvarsson, another Sigurdsson. This one's not been accused of naughty things. And now we're on to Iran. And there's a few Iranian players that we should know from this. We got Dejaga. We got Birvanand. We got Hajafi. We got Jahanbatsk. Who I think plays in Europe for not a top side, but one of the better sides in Europe. But I can't remember for the life of me which team he plays for, which is going to annoy me. If you do know, again, let me know in the comments. I like to be corrected. But I'm sure he's playing in the top flights in Europe because I've packed him on FIFA before. But hey, I could well be wrong. But let me know. I'm trying to get these out. These are actually very well packed. Kudos to the chap that packed these. This has proven to be an awful lot of fun. We've then got Hosseini from Iran. We got Ansifarad from Iran, Gushanijad from Iran, Azmoon. I thought Desmali was Iranian, but I could be wrong. But not any players that particularly stand out there for us from Iran. We've then got Yoshida of Japan, Sakai of Japan, Nagatomo, Haraguchi, Moshi, I pronounced that awfully, didn't I? Masato, Morishige even, Yamaguchi, Nishikawa, right, and Shinji Kagawa. Look at that. I got his autograph Prizm card a few weeks ago from my Prizm box opening. So if you do want to check that out, check out my 2020-2021 Prizm opening. Got ourselves a signed Kagawa, and what a player he was for both Dortmund and Man United. We've got another Sakai. We've got Kawashima, Kyutake, and now we're on to the Mexicans. And the rest of the cards in this pack are Mexicans. We've got Chicharito of Mexico next. Again, he was a vibe, wasn't he, back in the 2000s when he was playing for Man United. Rapid. God, I miss those days so much. We got Guardado. We got Carlos Vela again. Went to the MLS and killed it over there. Diego Reyes. Giovanni Dos Santos. Hector Moreno. Ochoa, who I'm being told has been at literally like the last 5 World Cups in Mexico, and he is like,
He's like the top don back home when people talk about Mexican footballers. So if you ever get an Ochoa, especially a signed one, there'll be someone out there that wants it from what I hear. So we've got an Ochoa, Hector Herrera, Hirving Lozano. He is rapid for Napoli. Again, always in my FIFA Ultimate team. And I'd like to see him in the Prem one day, actually, because I think he could be pretty dangerous. We then got Jesus Corona and Miguel Leon to finish that pack off. And we're over halfway now on the 2018 base cards. And we're going to have to start a new pile now because, yeah, that one's getting a little bit big and it's going to fall over at some point. So I'm actually away for Easter, everyone. So it does mean I'm not going to be able to fold these away till after Easter. But it is going to be some treat coming home and getting to stick all of these in a binder. So I think I've got the right card next. Yep, I have. 138. Yeah, perfect. Right, we're on a vibe. We're on the right way. We've got John Obi Mikel. Could never make my mind up on him when he played for Chelsea. He just had odd moments, didn't he? We've then got Alex Iwobi, obviously still knocking about in Europe as well, still playing. We've got Musa. I'm going to move these out of the way here because it's making it very difficult. We've got Kelechi Iheanacho, now at Leicester City. Moses Simon. We've then got Igalo, again, still knocking about in the top leagues. Victor Moses, a proper journeyman. Wilfred Ndidi, again, great for Leicester Ndidi. Nigeria had quite a nice team, didn't they, at that World Cup? They did have quite a nice team. Again, Nigeria, they seem to be one that can just never quite keep it together on the big stage because they always show an awful lot of potential. And I don't even think they're at the 2022 World Cup, which is sad because they've got some fantastic players. And it's sad that we're not going to get to see them showcase it on the big stage. So, yeah, some nice players Nigeria had at the 2022 World Cup. We then got Lewandowski, and this is a sad one because this will be obviously Lewandowski's last World Cup. Highly likely for Poland. He'll be 37 by the next one. Who knows? He might still be knocking about, but if he's signing his pre-contract with Barca, he's got enough trouble on his hands to be dealing with. And again, we're going to put him in our top players pile. We've got Blazikowski there as well. I'm going to have to swap hands over because actually it's easier with the piles. We've got Piszczek as well. Oh, he was an unbelievable right back for Dortmund, wasn't he? Szczęsny, he's still knocking about in Serie A. Milic again, knocking about in Serie A. Poland do have a lot of players playing in Serie A. It does seem to be quite a popular destination. We've then got Kierchowiak. We've got Glick. We've got Lucas Fabianski. Oh, we have got the GOAT, Cristiano Ronaldo, looking fierce with his different trim there, isn't he? And I'll tell you what, each time you get a Ronaldo card, the one thing you can guarantee is that he's got a different barnet each time. And here we go. There's Ronaldo in 2014 playing for Portugal at the World Cup. And here we got Ronaldo in 2018. Just after Portugal's win at Euro 2016 as well, which he was famously up and down the touchline going mad during. So look, we've got Cristiano Ronaldo, the GOAT himself, Sui, from our pack opening, which is quite nice. So we got Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't need to say anything more about that, and he can go on the GOAT pile over here. We got Andre Silva, and this is the one thing with Portugal is Ronaldo is exceptionally lucky to have won something in Portugal because, like Messi with Argentina, they've never quite had an insane team. I mean, Pepe's a fantastic player. João Moutinho is a fantastic playmaker. Nani, really unlucky with injuries. We'll never forget when he stole that goal from Ronaldo and it was offside. João Mario, half-decent player. Carvalho, again, good holding midfielder, but nothing special. Not nothing special, but he never seems to bring it in the big games. And then we've got Andre Gomes to finish it. When you look at that Portugal side, you can see why they struggled at the 2018 World Cup. There's just not that star player they had back in the day when they really pushed for Euro 2004. I mean, they still have Figo playing at that time as well. Rui Costa, they were an insane squad. And if Ronaldo had come a few years earlier, I do think they would have won some things. We've then got our Russian players. Akinfeev, a very underrated goalkeeper. I did a Russian side in FIFA 14 for my Ultimate Team, and he was in it. Not a Russian team, but a Russian league team. We've got Golovin. We've got Zegov. We've got Kokorin. Zhuba, who's an absolute beast up front, isn't he? He's a tank. And Glushakov to end that next cohort of players. So that ended on 168, which means our next one is going to be the one that ends in 200. So we're coming down to the last few cards here, guys. If you are still watching, then thank you for persevering. I love filming these videos for you, so it's nice to know that you guys you guys are enjoying them. So thank you for sticking with me so far. And I'm just going to try and squeeze that out. Look at that. I don't want to damage the corner of these cards, taking them out there either. So we've got Kombarov of Russia. We've still got a few Russian players to go. Smolov. And now we're in to Saudi Arabia. And I do apologise to Saudi Arabia. I'm not too familiar with their players. And again, as a Newcastle fan, Newcastle are going over there for training a lot. And hopefully that and the connections with our club will help boost football over there. Human rights issues, absolutely. As a Newcastle fan, it's always important to point out it's great to have rich owners, but it's also it's very much tainted love because the human rights abuses are, it's unforgivable. So we won't talk too much about that anyway. We're going to keep the positive vibes going because that got very deep, didn't it? But we've got Al Mawalad there. We've got Al Salawi. We've got Hussawi. We've got Al Abed. We've got Hassoui. We've got Al Jassim, and we've got Walid Abdullah. And we've got another one coming still, Al Sherry. And we're back to some Serbian players. We're back to Russian players there, but obviously Kolarov. What a great player Kolarov was back in the day at that wing-back position. We got Kolarov of Serbia. We got Ivanovic at Chelsea. God, now that is Ivanovic and Terry at the back. God, they're a day and a half to talk about, aren't they? We've got Dusan Tadic again, now doing bits over at Ajax. Never quite working in the Premier League. We've got Kostic, who's really started to find his feet recently. Oh, what a true Don. Nemanja Matic, another Chelsea Don. Very odd move to Man United, that as well, when that happened. We've got Stojkovic. Alexander Mitrovic, I miss you at Newcastle. Had the passion. Could never be consistent enough, though. We've got Maximovic, Heung-min. Oh, we're on South Korea now. We're going to have a Son coming up, hopefully. Oh, yeah, of course we got a song coming up. I just said we got a song coming up, and I didn't recognise it because his name, I didn't recognise the surname there. That's really bad of me. We've got Son Heung-min, his first Prizm World Cup card as well. So stick him on the GOAT pile. We've got Kim Hee-hee. We've got Hwang Hee-chan. We've got Kim Seung-yu, Ki Seung-young, Shimwook, Jashiol, Ki-hun, Young-won. We've got Kyunho. We've got Kyunho. And now we're at Spain. And this was really the decline of Spain at this World Cup, wasn't it? Because it all just, the wheels have really fallen off with Spain. And they're really a transition period between, the greats they were back at the early 2008, probably through to about 2014, to where they are now. And actually, it's sad to see those player age, but they've got fantastic players like Pedri, Gavi coming through. Spain are going to be a force to be reckoned with in 6 to 8 years' time. But God, this Spain side, again, disappointing performance for them at that World Cup. Iniesta, Gay, best goalie in the world. One of the best goalies in the world at that point. Morata was just inconsistent. Sergio Ramos. Sergio Ramos feels like he's been about forever as well. I remember having some of the early FIFAs as a kid. And when I say early FIFAs, I'm talking like FIFA 2003. And like Ramos was a rookie back then. And he had that long hair. That's how old I am, but that's also how long Sergio Ramos has been knocking about and doing bits for. David Silva, how we miss him at Manchester City. We've got Isco and Real Madrid. Jordi Alba, arguably top 5 left-backs in the world during that World Cup. Koke, Marcos Asensio, again, needs to be consistent. Pedro, bit of a journeyman, has done well in a number of places, did well at Chelsea. Sergio Busquets could never get over his diving and play acting me. Gerard Piqué, look at that. He was running fast when that one was taken. Look at that lock, or those locks even. And then Edison Cavani. This is another sad one because, again, we're not going to see Edison Cavani at another World Cup after this, are we? Edison Cavani, when we talk about OG Cavani, he was unbelievable. Napoli, I think it was back in the day. Obviously not the same now at Man United, but he's still doing bits at 35, and this will be his last World Cup coming up. We've got Carlos Sanchez. Diego Godin, again, he seems to have played at about 1 million World Cups. But a player I would have loved to have seen in the Prem. Muslera, underrated goalkeeper. Jose Jimenez, a great young centre-back at the time. Luis Suarez, again, we're not going to see any more Luis Suarez World Cups after this one. And again, this is probably his least controversial World Cup so far, if you think about the handball in 2010 and the bite in Brazil. We've got Vicinho, we've got Pereira. We're now at Panama, and again, I won't know too much about Panama footballers, but we'll take a look. So we've got Blas Perez, we've got Godoy, we've got Barcenas, we've got Escobar, not Pablo. We've got Gabriel Torres, Jamie Pinedo, Gabriel Gomez, Roman Torres, and now we're at the team with the best football kit in all of world football. It is Croatia, the ones that knocked us out of that World Cup, gutting, devastating. But again, they had a very nice team around that point. So we had Koric, Subasic, we had Ivan Perisic, who was unbelievable at that point. He definitely peaked for the World Cup. Rakitic again was doing bits for Barca going into it. Unbelievable playmaker. Another unbelievable playmaker. They were creating all the goals. They were creating all the goals that World Cup with Luka Modric as well. Brozovic is a beast of a midfielder. The midfield for Croatia was different gravy for that World Cup, and they just created so many unbelievable chances. And when you need things to go your way, things just went the right way for Croatia. So some fantastic players there. I think we've got a few more to look at. Kovacic again. A young Kovacic was unbelievable for Croatia. Kalinic. And now we're on to Sweden, who will sadly not be at this World Cup. But at the last World Cup, we had Lustig. We had Grankvist. We had Forsberg even. Svensson. Berg. Toivonen. Olsen, we're waiting for the beast himself. Sebastian Larsson, bit of a journeyman. And no Ibrahimovic in there. No Ibrahimovic. And I think he did briefly retire, didn't he? So that might be why. I was expecting a beast, but never came. We've got Mohamed. We've got Mbolo for Switzerland. Again, FIFA young career player back at about FIFA 17. But again, never quite hit the levels we expected. Mr. Red Card himself, Granit Xhaka. Seferovic, Ricardo Rodriguez. What a free kick he had on him. Stefan Lichtensteiner, Sheridan Shaqiri. Again, consistency is key for him. Jan Sommer, again, massively underrated goalkeeper, some cracking saves at the last Euros when they won their penalty shootout. And now we're on to Morocco and the last few teams. So we've got Fair, we've got El Amadi, Bousafa, great player. Had him in my Russian league team at one point. Unbelievable ball player. Mamadi, Dirar, Ali, Roman Sace of Wolves, Belanda, Benatia was, again, I recognise Benatia. I think he played for Juve at one point. And now we're on to the Danes and Kasper Schmeichel. So we're going to get through this last pack quick time because I know you guys have been around for a while. And I really appreciate you sticking with me whilst we take a look at all these cracking cards in that 2018 set. So in this final one on here, we'll move all this out of the way. We've got Kasper Schmeichel. We've got Schoen, Nicholas Bentner, Lord Bentner himself. The streets will never forget those days in the early 2010s. We've got Kier, cracking defender, Thomas Delaney, William Kitst, Cornelius, Ankerson, Christian Eriksen, who unbelievably is going to make this World Cup. He's been unplayable for Brentford, and it's great to see him back. When that incident happened in Euro 2020, it was absolutely awful, and isn't it good to see him back healthy on a football pitch? We then got the Aussies. We've got Matthew Ryan, the Brighton goalkeeper, Jedinak, Rogic, Tim Cahill, how the streets miss you at the World Cup. We've got Juric, Aaron Moy, Milligan, Matthew Leckie. And now we're on to the Senegalese. We've got Kouyaté. We've got Idrissa Gueye, cracking player for PSG. We've got Moji. We've got Ndiaye. We've got Gassama, Kanate, and no Sadio Mane at that point, interestingly. Moussa Sow is the last player in that set. So that is, there's some messy piles, aren't there? All of the 2018 base players that were included in the World Cup. And hopefully you've enjoyed living some memories of those as we've gone through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap up the video and let you know what we've got coming on Blazy Collects very shortly. So everyone, that is, as I said, all of the base cards included in the 2018 World Cup Prizm set. And on here, we have got what I consider the ones you need to add to your collection today before these start to go a little bit harder to find when the next World Cup comes around. And obviously, we've got to start with that Kylian Mbappe French national team rookie card. These are going to get scarcer and scarcer by the year, so I do recommend adding this to your collection. And it's also in the same jersey he won the World Cup in. So make sure you get that one added. The other GOAT, the other ones I recommend from this set is the GOAT, Cristiano Ronaldo. So we've got Lionel Messi on there as well. Son Heung-min, Robert Lewandowski, Neymar Jr. and Mohamed Salah. There were some absolute beasts in there. We could have picked more, but for me, these are the real standout players from that collection. And what I'm really excited to do for you guys in a video probably coming in the next few weeks is show you guys what some of these inserts look like, as well as a few of the special numbered cards in this set. So I'm going to do my best to source them, and the follow-up to this one is going to be adding those inserts and adding those numbered parallels. So something to look forward to for the 2018 set in the future. And actually, talking about the future, with the World Cup Hype series, I'm going to try and get some old Adrenaline packs from the last few World Cups so that we can start to open them, collect those collections live, do some draft builders. We're going to do a lot of exciting things with them. So do make sure you subscribe if you don't want to miss those in the next episode in the series. And if you stayed all the way to the end, and if you enjoyed today's video, then make sure you smash that like button for me to let me know. I really appreciate it. But for now, have a cracking Easter, enjoy your chocky, have a rest, and I'm going to be bringing you some absolutely mad box openings after Easter. So take care, everyone. Happy Easter, and I'll catch you in another video soon.